okay, and this quarter for 3 weeks, you'll be studying, for example, in drama, South African realism, of which you don't even get to study. And we had to protest in my second year. We had to protest because they took it out, because they thought we don't really go study guys, and which we actually don't. But because of that moment, we were rebellious. No, there's a point where you just become rebellious for no reason. Like, no, this dustbin must be here. Why is the dustbin not here? No, we want everyone. I want. You know, and we were at that point, we started engaging with everything. And then we realized that we were being robbed of South African realism. We fought it, it happened. So even when we say curriculum, even those things must start changing. We understand the world, but the world doesn't understand us. We know everything about the world. We are taught each and every day about the world. What the world thinks about your law, what the world thinks about money, what the world thinks about acting, what the world thinks about everything. But you are not there. But you are studying and you're paying for this. You're paying with your hard-earned money. So also we know the transformation, we're saying we want to decolonize the curriculum and the financial structure of universities. Another thing is the culture. I mentioned finances, curriculum, and then there's culture. A very clear example is resident culture. The African is resident culture. I loved it in the first year. Because I thought, when I left home, I was like, I'm finally going to have boyfriends. I was happy. I wanted to have boyfriends. And I was thinking, but I didn't exist in the world. Even if you join 7 8 and then they sing, and then there comes that part and it becomes tempting. Now they have to sing an African song. Then the black girl must come in front. And then the black girl must sing loud because the other two don't know the song. And then you ask yourself that way. Why I sing that song? But when we have to sing, then we can't sing the song. It's just me who sings the song. And then there's inquiry. You dancing. No, it's fair. Dance. Then the multicultural part comes. Just dance. And you dance, and you see that cake, you make sure it's live. And you find nothing wrong with that. In fact, you embrace it. You feel like, I finally had a time to shine. But it just shows how inferior black culture is in our educational spaces, in residences. It's put on the side there. In fact, it's only there because there's a multicultural point where they have to get marks. Why is my culture a multicultural point? Isn't my culture part of the whole thing? So even when we say culture, we want to change that. The sports that we play, netball, there's never Unkusha, there's never the team. Why? When we say decolonize, we are saying create spaces for black bodies too. We are not saying just let us in and let us sleep on your beds and wear your clothes and speak your English. No. There are some people who don't take me serious when I speak like this. Why? Because it's black. It's black. It's black South African accent. But when I start speaking like this, everyone takes me seriously. And we can't. So basically, I think we have an idea of what the AFF Students Command, UP in particular, means when they say decolonize UP. We don't just want spaces to educate ourselves, but we also want to be active. We don't want to be unable to partake academically because we are blocked by the language barrier. You don't want to tell it in, even when you tell it in, it's still wrong. The grammar part, it's just a lot of things that you have to go through just to engage with academics. When people are buying books and have Wi-Fi on their duvet covers, when they don't have print material, it's true. I have to study for a test. I don't have a book. I don't have printing credit. It's the truth. You know that last time that you have to decide whether to buy tampons or printing credit. It's the truth. And what are you going to buy? Tampons. What are you going to buy? Bread. What suffers? Your academics. Who fails? You. Who gets academic students? You. Is it because you're stupid? No. allow black bodies to be part of it. Thank you so much for your time, guys.
Black lives don't matter. Black lives don't matter at all. The average worker in UP ends up about 1.5. The cleaners they're about 1.5. This year, the Effsc UP has embarked on a campaign to champion the rights of cleaners and the service staff, the garden staff. The stuff that we found out of what happens to those people is appalling. A job is sold for 400 rands. Firstly, if you are late, or even 10 minutes late, you can get fired. You can just, you go to work, like Yakutia is going to work, and no, they don't want anymore leave. That how it comes in. That's what goes on in there. Black lives don't matter. We went and reported this to the vice principal of Lucy. They know about it, but guess what? They shut us down. That's how bad things are. Censorship all over again, you guys. And you know what I hear about UP the most is that we as UP students are ignorant to all these things. How is it that my mother catches a plane every day at 4 p.m. to come and work in UP when she's late because Metro, we all know the situation with Metro. Metro does their things, but if she's late by 10 minutes, she has to scrub the floor. The pavement that you have to walk on, yes, sorry, but yes, the pavement that you have to walk on, she scrubs it, and you go and practice in Nami Road. That's how bad things are in UP. There are two worlds in UP. I live in a different world to a white student. My struggles to a white student are completely different. She worries about what she when I went to a cash. I worry about what I gonna eat. I get SMS every day. Pay your money. I have to study. I don't have textbooks. What's that, you guys? And we continue to sit still, keep quiet. We gotta go to tax confessions. That's what we do in UP. The ignorance is so appalling in UP. I don't understand. What's wrong with UP students? What's wrong? Like, I'm only first year, y'all, but this ain't my first bus experience, but what I can say is that what I've seen in UP, it shocked me. When I came into UP, I was already political, but then I was not very aware of all these things. I think UP, we should joke and say that UP is taking us into terrorism. That's how bad things are. The level of ignorance here, it's like, it's on a whole new level. What's to be done? What can we do to change things? Because clearly things are not okay. And we are being censored. If we can't raise something like say, no, this is wrong, we're going to get censored. Already, can I tell you guys a secret? If some of my modules, when I had an exam, I had to be like, because I said, no, this is an injustice. I don't talk against an injustice. It's not one thing, and I said, no, it's wrong. Already, I'm being victimized in class. It's those little things that make you see how bad things are in UP. How long are we going to sit still? How long, you guys? And then on another point, in the words of my course, I was trying to the social media, yes, in school, we are learning. So, to my computer, I just want to understand the difference between transformation and decolonization. Does it mean that we have to allow black bodies to keep explain? No, we're taking another sense for Lisa. Explain better to some of us, because we don't have the same mental range. What about? On allowing black students in UP, if we say that it's about race culture, do we include black race culture into race culture, or do we get rid of race culture? Do we get rid of Afrikaans, or do we add other indigenous languages? If we add other indigenous languages, is that not assimilation in a sense? Because we want to assimilate to what the standard that's already been set by white people.
No, I did say that we must establish a new culture, and that is of adding other cultures. I don't think it is fair to get rid of Afrikaans culture personally, because I think that you are subjecting other bodies to the violence that you are subjected to, and you're now saying if I can't have the cake, then nobody must have the cake. What we are saying is that we also want our cultures in these races too, not to get rid of anyone's culture. That is what my struggle as a black student. I'm not here at UP to reverse everything and go, now the secret Africans must follow, English must follow. Do you understand what I'm saying? When we talk about transformation, it's especially with race culture, that's what we mean.
Any kinds of views on the floor? Any views?
No, they agree.
I know Gabs does agree there. I know Gabs does agree. Yes, my hands up.
What I'd like to know with regards to your question with decolonization, is that the culture that she's speaking of with regards to comes like English culture that is emerging, is that not a product of colonial culture? That we are still keeping, and we are saying we are decolonizing, as if we are keeping the colonial culture that is in our residences. But I feel like it is not an exclusion if you are subjecting people to African culture. It's simply us saying this is Africa. Like we are not saying, listen, we don't care about you. This is Africa. Like if you came to Africa, this is the African experience. This is what you're gonna get, and that's it. Like you're not gonna go to Europe and they're gonna say, let's include Zulu culture because we are Zulus.
So basically, what you say, are you saying that we must get rid of all the African cultures and just have only our African cultures?
I'm saying let's stay true to the purpose of decolonizing.
Oh, I understand, capture. On to our second finalist, Mr. Midas.
Thank you for the opportunity. Hard to believe. I don't think, well, I'm thinking that some of you might think I'm a lecturer or management, but I'm a first year law student. I'm a returning student. I studied at this institution 20 years ago. I studied political science, and I must admit, after 25 years approximately, I haven't seen any change.
Sure.
The change that I see is I see more black students, and what I experience is that the interaction between the races is positive. If I can literally use the word, it's as if the students are colorblind. The people that interact do it on a personal level. But it's sad to say that we're 21 years into the new democracy, and to think that we should be discussing these sort of issues, I don't have the appropriate word for it. It's shocking. How are you going to achieve this transformation and decolonization? I think that's the challenge. I'm at the stage where a lot of people of my age start thinking of retirement. I don't plan on retiring because things didn't work out for me the way it should have. And when you practice law, fortunately, all you need is your faculties. You need to have a sound mind. Your eyes should be okay, and there's no reason why you can't practice until the age of 90. And that's what I need to do. So, and by the way, English is not my own language. I can understand the situation around language. It is an emotional topic. And the reason why I'm studying in English is simply because the business world out there is English. I'm basically forced to study in English. The courses are English. And we should look at ways of accommodating people, and not just on a, how can we call it, on a window dressing level. It should be substantial. We've got a long way to go, and I think that's it. I can't really add any more to that. But thank you for the opportunity.
because humanities haven't made it to the floor. I'm going to call upon Pluto. You are next as our panelist. The floor is yours.
Sure. I'm just here to just quickly speak. I'm not really here to think that I'm better than anyone or whatever, but I'm just here to share my ideas on what I see decolonizing to be from a sense of blackness. First of all, we must start to see these institutions as inferior structures to the black body. In a sense that we walk into a classroom, it gives us the Messiah tactic, of which there is this one guy who's standing in front of us and he's telling us that the system already gives him authority over all of us. So the system already shuts down what you have to think. The system already thinks for you and tells you but who the boss is and who the master is in the classroom. You see? So that is already a point that we start to see as something which is that's blocking the body from engaging, that's blocking the mind from engaging. We must understand as black people, I'm going to speak predominantly to the black folk, to understand that the system, when it was designed, it was never designed in our name. The people that were designing these systems, we know, there were people who were killing our people, there were people who were engaging in several activities which harmed the black soul, the black body. So, in engaging in the system, engaging in the system is not something that's optional. It's not something that we need to be preoccupied with as blacks. We must start to see the institution as something that has organized us. I always like to see the institution as a little bit like a homeland. You know, the Bantustans, the Botswana and the Zululand and all that. The system forces you to be here. But it gives you an illusion that you made a conscious decision to be here. Because in there, yeah, it says now that you have to be someone one day. And in order to be someone, this is what you need. It gives you the lorry and says, this is the lorry that you need to be in order to be someone in a white organization, in a white system. In engaging and finding ourselves in these oppressive structures, where we cannot even voice our real opinions about how we really feel about ourselves, how we really feel about our engagement, how we really feel about the system as a totality. We must start to organize outside of the system. And I think that's what black consciousness was saying. I think that's what Biko was killed for, because Biko said, but blacks, let's organize outside of the system. We must never see ourselves as part of the system and trying to organize and saying, but we need more votes. Why do you need votes? It's the white man who tells you you need votes, right? So you're engaging again in the system. And you are misleading your own people because you are rallying them in the same ideology that the white man wants them to rally upon. It's the white man who put those structures of the DSA and the DSA, the creating these systems, these political systems, these political parties. It's it. And we blacks, we run to it. I get a sense of inspiration a lot when I see, when I take a sneak peek at the Asian people. You never get a Chinese people engaging in marches. Hey, we need to what? Hey, what? You never get an Indian people screaming, but I'm political, I'm trying to. No. Because they don't want to engage the system. They don't want to recognize the system. And blacks, so long as we are trying to find ourselves in this oppressive system and saying, but please recognize me, master. I'm also here, I can also speak English, I can also engage. We are doing a mistake. We need to step out of it as blacks and see it, okay, there's a SASCO there, there's an EFF, there's a what. The system has given us these things. How are we bringing forth solidarity amongst ourselves? How are we bringing forth unity and saying, but SASCO is what the white man wants me to engage with. EFF is what the white man wants me to engage with. I'm going to engage with blackness. And that's where the practicality of it comes in, when black people start to create. Because black consciousness was always a sense of creating. black people creating, black people not seeing themselves in the system. I mean, we take a look at the 76, what happened in 76. Although I tend to criticize it because, the media always infiltrates our blackness. It always finds a way, white media messes around with our blackness. In a sense that 76, it was the youth heading up together. And we must understand that in the morning of 76, the country was wild. Why was the country wild? There was no ANC that was mentioned there. There was no PAC that was mentioned there. How was the country wild? How did we manage, we, the people that are sitting here? Because I believe that we are the reincarnation of those people. We have just come back, but we have come back to fall in love with the system. Because what? It's him. Then again, in 1994, we said, but let's open the gates for blacks to move in. And that's why you get people today who are saying, but 94 was better. 3 years 94 was better. Because we could see the brutality of it. We could see how it's attacking us physically, mentally, spiritually. But right now, we don't see the physical aspect of it. So now we start to fall in love. We say, but I can also be a part of this. I can also become one. I can also use his hierarchy, his patriarchal system to get me somewhere in life as a black child. I don't think there's hope for us, so long as we are still rallying, trying to organize, in a sense of recognizing, asking the master, but how far are you with the votes? Are you really going to give us a re-election? Are you going to, we're engaging him, we're asking him permission again, but we're saying we want to be black. Are we really serious about our blackness? Are we really serious about the liberation of the black child? Is what I want to ask. And in all that being said, we must understand that blackness is a gift. Blackness is a gift to a sense that, man, you have the melanin, you have the rhythm, you have the power to create, but you're sitting on it. The ability to think is to think for yourself. Not trying to take Fanon, breaking him down. Fanon, let's go to chapter 9. This one, you are trying to say, no, we're delaying the revolution, blacks. We're delaying the revolution. That's not what the revolution was about. The revolution was saying black people just create. Because was just saying create. Don't see yourself as part of this thing. No, don't see it. What will happen if you all say, but, you know what, we're not even going to vote. Because SRC really does not work for us. It works for an elite few. Because the system, as inferior as it is, it will never help all of us. But giving us the illusion that, I'm going to help you register, and it's going to make me feel good about myself because I made you register. I got you this finance. I did this. But that's not what it is. It needs to help all of us. Our blackness is the only key that can help all. But so long as we're in the system of whiteness and trying to fit in, we'll help a few. And that's where the elitism comes in. Because right now we are sitting in this structure right now. We are calling it even a hotel, which is quite depressing to me. Because this is not even the setup of how we used to do our hotel. We see how we have forgotten our blackness. Because now we are stuck in the system. We are stuck trying to figure it out. So in just closing, there's this new idea or rather this new line that really bothers me a lot. And it speaks about the idea of sizofunda ngengane. You help me, I'm not cross. When we start to break down this idea, we start to see that it's force. You are forcing yourself. Thank God. You're not wanted. But you're saying, I will do it, thank God. Like really. And it's right in our face, but we're taking it and we're saying, but we're going to move it this way. This is what we mean. We want to do it by force. You were never seen. When it was designed, you were never thought of. You have always been seen as a slave to perpetuate the ongoing slavery of your people. So, In closing, I only have 8 minutes. I probably went in closing. I'd like us to visit the concept of thinking, in a sense that it's really visible in our country. It's him, Nelson Mandela, who said, "Let's fight them." And they jailed him for 27 years. But people said, "Let's think," and they killed him. So that's something I want us to take home as blacks and understand that we need to put these political badges which the white man gives us and inputs and sense of elitism to it so that we can forget ourselves. We need to put them aside. We need to rally around. I was really excited when I saw us coming together, but I felt like we were coming together for a cause that's not ours. We are fighting a battle that's not ours. So let's come together to see a battle, our own struggles, our own system, in the idea of restoring the heritage of our nation, of the black child. Thank you so much.
I'm about to open the question and answer session to the panelists regarding everything that has been said and done. But regarding what the previous speaker has just said, he raises problems after problems after problems. He's saying, but the political parties, they are not working. But Biko said nothing. But Fanon is trash. Then what do we do as black people? We need inspiration. Even myself, I know when I want to succumb to a system, I know I must conscientize myself and take up a bigger book, a Fanon book, to remind myself who I am. That's how I conscientize myself. So how do you conscientize yourself? You are going to reject everything that is black in a very white institution. I want to open the answer and the Q&A session. You must make sure that you direct your question to that person. I'm going to take 3, then the 3 people are going to answer, and then another 3 in the team. 1, 2, 3. And I don't know the questions are going to have. That's Chira. Chira. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, sir. The first one, please.
My question isn't so much a question, it's a statement in response to your question. I think what the speaker was saying in other subliminal terms is that what the political parties are doing exactly what the white people intended to divide and conquer. And now I feel myself paying myself to EFF and saying, I'm EFF, at the cost of saying, I'm ANC, I'm COPE, I'm this. At the end of the day, if you realize what's happening, the numbers are decreasing because we are voting for all of these. And he's saying, just unite because you're black. Finish in black. That's all he's saying.
I obviously have nothing to add. Yes, sir.
Question to Mr. Morris.
Okay, Mr. Morris.
Can you practice in a society that was present together? You studying political science and what were your motivations after graduating and working? And how have things changed? How did you perception? How things were then, how things are now?
Say the answer after, yeah. Keep that in mind. I'm going to take, like, if you're going to direct a question to a panel, they'll have to be about 3, and then I'm going to give them a chance for time's sake. Yes? Yes, it is.
No, I just want to respond to the Bragocious group. I agree totally with the things that he was saying. But it's, well, for agitated people around the world, it's arousing, it's agitating in a way. It's necessary for us. But there's some things that we need to consider when we go out to meet our people. Like we don't have anything. We don't have nothing. So what we have is insecurities. So when I hear at UP, like for example, if they expel one student, I mean like if they suspend a student, that's like to say it's not a matter of we want that student to leave. It's a matter of sending an example to other students. You get what I'm saying? So So how do we deal maybe? That's a question that how do we deal with the insecurities of black students? Because it's simple here. I personally can just leave university. I don't care much about that. But at home, I mean, we have fear, the fear of being isolated at home. Can we give one another security as black people? If a black student gets suspended for VSN, are we able to say, to give that student some form of security, or are we just going to continue with elections and things just continue as they were supposed to go? So the case is insecure, security as black people. If one black student can just stand up for classing and stand up against something, are we going to back up that student? So I'm saying, how do we deal maybe with the insecurity of students? But on one more thing that we were just saying is that us trying to be accepted or trying to find ourselves in this system, I feel that's a lost cause, and that's where we're going to as black people. But this is Paul Ferrer, right? He's saying that white people, even I think it's also in the first one on white people, racism is about exclusion. So in a way, you have these people who say that, okay, now fine, you are an oppressed, that's your position. I'm the oppressor. So they are free and you are not free. So whenever your cause is trying to be free, so whenever you want to be free, you have to identify everything. How does the master live? How do free people live? How do they ought to live? That means you must look at the master who is oppressing you, who is free. So everything he does, you must adopt that kind of thing that, okay, if you want to occupy institutions, that's what being free is about at university. So I'm saying our imaginations, even our thoughts, our ambitions are colonized. That's the case.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I was gonna speak on the point of political involvement for obvious reasons, especially in commemoration of Biko today. I mean, Biko was very vocal about his political involvement, Bosaso and the likes. Even Borobo Tobukwe, when they disagreed with something, they stepped aside and decided to form their own thing. The problem is not necessarily unity. The problem is loyalty, because we expect something that we put forth. We expect the seeds that we planted, like the fruit of what we planted. Do you understand? So whoever, even if today I were to disagree with the EFF, for example, it's not what I would per se do or whatever, I will still be in the EFF because I voted for them, or because of someone who by then would be old and they would have freed us. Do you understand? So we even start to silence black thoughts. That is my only problem with politics, not necessarily the nature of politics. Because if we say politics must fall, then everything else, like absolutely everything else must fall. Absolutely everything else must fall. Even writings of Biko and Abosobuke, they must fall.